All right, welcome back everyone to Invest the Rest, my new YouTube channel focused at getting all of my extra money or discretionary income into the market for as long as possible. Right now, through 3 different investment strategies across 3 different $10,000 accounts, all of which were started January 2nd of 2025. And we're comparing those 3 strategies against one another to see which one may be the best for passive investing, active investing, cash flow, or overall gains. Today, we got a great video. Gonna go over an update for the options trading account, the most active of the 3 accounts. We're gonna go over a new goal table. I put together a table to show how quickly the premium that we harvest from selling put and call contracts can start to snowball and really make a difference in only 3, 4, 5 years down the road. We'll take a look at a new fund that I started trading option contracts on this week in week 7, and we'll take a look at the overall gains, not only of the option account, but how it measures up to the other 2 accounts so far. So first off, if you watched my last option video, you know that in week 5 and week 6, we had 4 different contracts that closed on 2/14. That was last Friday, and all of which expired worthless. I did have this one contract left from week 6 down here on MSTY. I did sell that put contract on MSTY on February 11th for $94.33 in premium. So we started the week with only that single contract, which means we had a little bit of ground to make up, right? Because right now, as you can see, I'm leveraging $8,450 in my account that has $11,185 of, trading power, if you will. So total assigned, that 2,300, still those MSTU shares that we were assigned in week 3 right here. Those put contracts got assigned at an $11 and $12 strike price. So we have an $11.50 average cost basis. And then based on the contracts that we opened this week, we have $6,150 in exposure. One thing I want to mention, a little bit later in the video, we're going to get into my goal table and how I plan to retire and how many years I plan to do so. But very critical to this strategy being successful is leveraging as much as possible every single week. So right now I'm leveraging 8,450. I'd like to get that closer to that $10,000 or $10,500 mark. I don't want to go right to the limit. I do want to leave myself a little bit of wiggle room. But as we're into week 7, as I've gained a little bit of comfort, a little bit of confidence in this strategy, I feel like it's okay to get a little bit closer to that account limit. In the beginning, I was only using about 50%, 60% of the account buying power, but I think it's time to step it up so we can continue to reach our goals. So we're at 8,450. We should probably still open a couple contracts later this week, but I'll show you what I opened today. Before I get into the details, like in all of my videos, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. My videos are for entertainment purposes only, to really just show my journey, my investment strategy to everybody else and see if they find any value in it, whether it's informational value, educational value, or entertainment value. Do your own research. Make sure you understand what you're investing in before you invest in it. So let's go down here to the bottom of the table. Let's take a look at week 7. So I started the week. It is a short trading week this week. So all these contracts were opened of Tuesday of the week, February 18th. First contract that I sold was a put contract on MSTU. Very familiar if you're following this channel or this account. MSTU is something we've traded on since week 1. MSTU, 100 shares, right, in the contract or 1 contract quantity. $25 in premium, or $24.33 after fees, at a strike price again of $8.50. I think that's the third, fourth, maybe even fifth time we've traded on that $8.50 strike price for MSTU. We traded it right here in week 6. I believe we traded again right here in week 5, week 4, at the beginning of week 4. And then up here, we got to the $8 and $7. We were lucky enough to get it that low. But that $8.50 strike price seems to be working pretty well. Close of market today, MSTU closed at $8.97. So if it stays that way, this contract will expire worthless. Now remember, we only have 3 trading days left. We don't have 4 because it was a short week. Therefore, this contract does expire 2/21 this Friday, and it was open just for these 4 days. Now, taking a look throughout the day, I took a look at MSTY, I took a look at TSLL, and there wasn't a lot of movement, there wasn't a lot of opportunity versus the premium that those two funds were paying. TSLL, I could have gotten in at the $18.50 mark. That's very comparable to where I've traded or sold put contracts on TSLL in the past. I do feel more comfortable under that $20 mark currently based on what I've seen Tesla doing. And I just, based on the premium I could get for this week, I think it was $20 or $30. I didn't feel like it was worth the risk, right? If an MSTU contract gets assigned, we have to buy 100 shares at $8.50. So that would be an $850 increase to our total exposure up here, right? Because we have to have that $850 to buy those 100 shares. With TSLL, I have to buy 100 shares at $18.50 or $20 if I can't get a good enough strike price. So if I have to pay $20 per share times 100 shares, that's $2,000 that I have to reserve that would go into my total exposure because I have to have that money if that contract gets assigned. I can trade 2 MSTU contracts at $8.50, $9, even $10 for the same exposure that I can trade 1 TSLL contract. Now, that may make sense in the future if TSLL's volatility is very high and the premium is there. But right now, I think the smarter trade for my account and my strategy was trading on MSTU and leaving myself the room to trade an additional contract, sell, right? An additional contract on MSTU later this week. Now, what did that result in? Well, it got me looking at high volatility ETFs, stocks. What could I trade options on to kind of take the place of TSLL this week? And I have found NVDX. Also offered, it's a T-Rex 2X long, just like MSTU, except it's on NVIDIA, right? Instead of MSTR. So very similar mechanics of the fund, very similar strategy, just a different underlying stock. So very familiar with NVIDIA, as many of you probably are. I think, it had a major dip recently last week, a little bit the week before, and now it's on the recovery. When a stock is on the recovery, selling put options is very advantageous in my opinion. There's a good amount of premium, and the chances that you're going to expire worthless if it is recovering to the upside is fairly high. So I did a little bit of research on NVDX. I thought, yep, this is what I want to trade on. The price of NVDX right now is around $14, which is right in between MSTU and TSLL. I didn't necessarily need an $8.50 stock, but I didn't necessarily want to go up like TSLL to a $20 stock. So I found this $14 fund, NVDX, very, very volatile right now. I should have written down the volatility of this because of the price action on NVDA. But I did get in Tuesday morning, 218, one contract, a put contract, sold it for $41 or $40.33 after fees. Currently sits at $13.68, which means if it doesn't increase for the remaining 3 days of this week, we will get assigned as this contract also expires on 2/21. So we have 3 contracts, MSTY, MSTU, NVDX, all expire this Friday. And as I did more research on NVDX, I was looking at the premium, and I'm not an advocate to chase premium. I make my option trades, my option sells, my calls and my puts based off of my confidence and research into the stock or into the underlying stock if it's a fund like NVDX and MSTU. I'm very confident in NVDX based on what the research that I did, and so I opened another position and I sold another put contract on NVDX, $95, or I should say 95 cents per share, $95 in premium for selling that contract, $94.33 after fees at a $13 strike price. Again, NVDX is at $13.68, which means this, if it stays there, this contract will expire worthless and the one above it will get assigned. The difference with the second NVDX put contract that I sold is I went out a week. How did I get $95 only for $1 less than strike? Well, I went out to an expiration of $2.28. And honestly, owning NVDX for me at the $14 or $13 price, I think that's a really good price to get in, or if I have to, a price that I can easily, average down if it does take a dip. So those are the positions that I opened. Okay, we are up to $425.95 for the month of February. We have week 7, and then that'll be our second to last week, and then week 8 will be our last week in February. I do have another line here. I do anticipate opening possibly another MSTU or maybe an MSTY put contract for this week only, which will only be a 2 or 3 day contract. But depending on what the price action does on these 2 funds, I may jump in on another put. If MSTU starts to take off, right? It's at $9 now. If we can get up near $10, $11, I will be opening call contracts on the 200 shares that I already own of MSTU. I haven't had the opportunity to sell those call contracts for really anything more than $5 or $8 in premium per contract, and I didn't feel it was worth it because if MSTU does move to the upside, we can get far more premium for selling a call at that point in time. So I'm hoping to get up to, if MSTU can make it up to $10, premium should be there to sell call contracts on those 200 shares of MSTU, which should significantly add to my February totals. So $759 for January, $425 for February. We're making great progress on our $650 per month goal. $1,185.24 so far on our $10,000 investment, bringing us to a total of $11,185. And that is money in the account. Remember, when you sell puts and you sell calls, that money, as soon as you sell that contract, that money, that premium is immediately deposited into your brokerage account. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to wait for the contract to expire. That money is deposited immediately. So, like I said, we have a little bit more exposure that we can run up, and I'll take a look at that as the week continues on. One thing that I want to mention is many of you have asked for this spreadsheet. You've asked for the $10,000 dividend account spreadsheet. I am working on a spreadsheet to release to you. All 3 accounts, all 3 $10,000 accounts, the growth account, the dividend account, and the option account. I'm working on a finalized spreadsheet with some instructions to release to everybody, and you can use it if you want. And if you decide not to use it, that's your prerogative. Take a look at it, modify it, make your own changes to it, get your own information in there, because I think tracking this information day to day, week to week is very important. Don't invest without knowledge, and don't invest without visibility. Why do I bring up spreadsheets? Well, because I think spreadsheets can also go a long way for motivation. So if I scroll over here, I want to take a look at this spreadsheet over here. I put this together between the last video. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is how quickly option trading can go good or go bad, okay? Starting with a $10,000 balance, okay, 6.5% or $650 target per month. If I were to do that every month, obviously the dollar amount gained every month will increase, but if we kept the percentage the same, 6.5% every month, you can see here how quickly it snowballs. 10,000 turns into almost 20,000 by the end of year one, which would be this year, 2025. 21,000 turns into 42,000 by the end of year two. And if I scroll down here to the end of year five, $410,000 in 5 years. That is from a $10,000 investment. $10,000 to $400,000 in 5 years is crazy returns, right? That make a significant change in somebody's life. It would make a significant dent in retirement. Or, you know, if you're fortunate enough, it could make a significant dent in additional discretionary income, whether you use that to trade further or you use it to have fun, pay off debt. It's a large sum of money. So what's a better motivator than trying to reach that goal? So I said, I am going to track my progress month to month against that benchmark, right? Started with $10,000, obviously blew the goal out of the water, 7.59% ROI month one. The starting balance was higher than the target balance of 10,650. Started February with 10,759. Currently at right under a 4% ROI. For February, just under the goal of $11,342, sitting at $11,185 for the month of February. And again, I'm looking for an average of 6.5% over 5 years. Some months are going to be high, like 8%, like January. Some months may be lower. You know, February is a shorter trading month with a shortened trading week in it. In February, we may only make 5%, 5.5%. But because of the good months, the bad months, they all average out. The goal is 6.5%. So every month, I will track this, keeping a good sight of how we're doing, if the strategy is working, if we need to make modifications. And honestly, seeing it in this format made me say, wow, I want to do this more. I want to do more research, and I really want to try to make this thing work. This makes it a little bit more fun to me. So that's how you can make a significant difference in any amount of money that you have. Trade it consistently, and make it snowball to, you know, $400,000 and beyond. So that's our retirement sheet back there. Obviously, you know, am I going to retire in 5 years? Probably not, but it kind of puts it into perspective. If you started with 20,000, how much more money it would snowball into. And I can actually show you that. You know, if I change the starting balance to 20,000, right, you're looking at $821,000. Maybe you only have $5,000, okay? What's that give you at the end of 5 years? $205,000 from a $5,000 initial investment. Okay, I'm not saying this will happen. It's nowhere near guaranteed. I'm only, you know, barely done month 2, going into month 3, but this keeps me motivated. So that's the option account update for this week. We got the NVDX, we got the MSTU, we got the MSTY contracts open. We'll be watching the market to possibly open another contract or two, and always keeping an eye on when we can open a position on MSTU for a call contract that's advantageous for the premium that we're looking to acquire. Before I end this video, really quick summary 2025. The dividend account is hot on the heels of the option account, $882. Option account, $1,185. You know, it could go either way depending on how the market shifts. I think over the next couple of weeks, the option account will take a couple more bounds ahead. But tomorrow, the dividend account gets more dividends. There's a dividend announcement tomorrow for 3 or 4 of the funds in that account. And so that balance will go up above $900. So very two similarly, performing accounts, very different investment strategies. Again, the growth account, check out my video from last night. Very passive. Put it in there, let it sit, it'll grow, low to medium risk. If that's your investment type, maybe you have a little bit more money, so it makes more sense for you. You're not trying to grow as fast, and you just want a safe place to keep your money that's much better returns than a savings account. Take a look at mutual funds, growth type accounts, things of that nature. So $2,460 to date, year to date, all three accounts, $30,000 invested across the three accounts total, and we're making great progress. So that is the update for today. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know what you're trying out in your own portfolio and what your strategy is. Drop me a comment, drop me a like, and 103 subscribers, guys. So ecstatic to be over 100. Keep it going. It keeps me motivated getting these videos out for everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Keep up day to day on the progress of the accounts and the trades. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.